Hello students and welcome to my YouTube channel. We are going to learn about labor cost. The labor cost concept and theoretical part we are going to understand over here. After completing the video, there will be the quiz this in their description box. So I hope you will enjoy this session and please do subscribe the channel. Thank you. So students, here we are going to start with the next chapter, labor cost, CAS 07, that is called Cost Accounting Standard 7. Labor cost is ascertained from two types of record. One is attendance record, other is payrolls. So first we must understand the meaning of labor and direct labor and indirect labor. Direct labor are those labor which are directly related with the production. So directly related with the production means the skilled laborers, those who are preparing, manufacturing that particular product. And indirect labor are indirect labor, those who are not associated with the directly for the production. They are helping for the production process. So labor cost is considered about Cost Accounting Standard 7. First, we are talking about attendance record. So timekeeping is the first part. So timekeeping is important. Why? Timekeeping means keeping a record of the attendance of the workers and the time spent by them in the actual work, idle time, overtime, etc. So timekeeping is important. First reason of that is payment of wages. To make a payment to the wages, it is very essential to have a timekeeping records. So normally payment of wages to workers depend upon the time spent by them on work. Thus, timekeeping is important for computation of wages due to the workers. Second is legal record of service or attendance. Attendance record are important in determination and computation of legal benefits such as provident fund, bonus, workmen compensation, maternity leave, pension, etc. Even certain allowances such as regular attendance, incentives, overtime, leave encashment, etc. require update attendance records. Third is discipline. Recording of time acts as a check on the movement of workers. It ensures punctuality amongst the workers and avoid idle or wasted time. This leads to increased productivity of laborers and optimum labor cost. Next one is the reason for this, ascertaining and control of labor cost. So timekeeping records to help the costing department in ascertaining labor cost of each job and controlling labor cost. So timekeeping records helps in finding out the time spent by each worker on individual jobs. So this financial allocation of labor cost to each job. Now there are few procedures. Each organization has its own procedure for recording the attendance of workers, depending upon its peculiar circumstances. The timekeeping procedure normally covers the following aspects. Number one, who maintains the timekeeping records? So timekeeping records may be kept by the separate timekeeping department or the labor department or watch and ward. The decision regarding having a separate timekeeping department depend upon the various factors such as the size of organization, the number of workers employed, the method of payment of wages, and the significance of labor cost, and so on, where timekeeping records are kept. So where the timekeeping records may be kept at the gate to the factory or at each department. Generally, the timekeeping records are kept at the gate or entrance of the factory itself. How timekeeping records are kept? The timekeeping records may be kept manually or mechanically. Yeah, this is the manually or mechanically. Manually means what? So manual timekeeping records means what? There are two methods of maintaining timekeeping records manually. One is attendance register. One is attendance register. I'm doing over here bold. And second is token, disk, or check method. So attendance register, we must understand the concept of attendance register. It is also called as muster. So in this method of maintaining timekeeping records, the detail of attendance of the workers are entered in an attendance register or muster. The muster may be kept at the gate of the factory or at each department. The entire entries against the name of each worker may be made by an assistant or by the employees themselves who sign the register whenever they enter and leave the premises. Advantages are this method is simple to operate and it is cheap. Disadvantages are also there. This method is suitable only for small factories and not for big factories. So number of workers depends, and this system may lead to hold up of workers at a factory gate at the time of arrival and departure in case of big factories when only one register is maintained at the factory gate. So if numbers are big, then it may take time, like workers are standing in queue for the one signature. So this will be time consuming for big organizations. The recording in hands may not be clear. Handwriting depends. किसी का हैंडराइटिंग रीडेबल फॉर्म में होता है, किसी का रीडेबल नहीं होता है. मैनिपुलेशन कैन बी पॉसिबल बिकॉज यू आर डूइंग इट हैंड रिटन. द सेकंड मेथड इज टोकन और डिस्क मेथड. In this method, each employee is given a token or metal disc on which his identity number is painted or engraved. Just before the opening time of office or factory, all discs or tokens are hung on the board at the gate of the factory. As and when an employee arrives at the gate, he picks up his token or disc and puts it on a separate box or hangs it on another board. So this indicates and record his arrival in time at the factory. After the scheduled arrival time, all the tokens or discs not put in the box are collected. So these indicates the workers who are late or absent. So workers who come late have to collect their tokens from the assistants who record the late arrival of the workers on the daily attendance sheet. So this is the second method of manual record keeping. Now we are moving towards the mechanically time keeping method when we are doing it mechanically. First is time clock method. Under this method, the time of arrival and departure is recording mechanically, that is with the help of time clock. Generally, each worker is given a card with an identity number. All the cards are kept on a board at the entrance to the factory. Every time a worker arrives at or leaves the factory, he takes his card from the board and insert it into the time clock. As soon as the card is inserted into the time clock, the clock mechanically prints the time on the card. Some clock may print late arrival in red ink, etc. The card still hanging on the board after the scheduled time indicates absent workers. So this is called the time clock machine. It's also punch card. Punch card attendance system is one of the most popular time clock attendance system. A punch card is a paper card with notches which contains digital information. Employees use this punch card for entry and exit. To use a punch card, employees just need to insert or wave the card near a reader, which then they ensure that the correct person is logging in and or out. So second one is biometric attendance. Biometric attendance biometrics use unique recognition features based on the physical or behavioral traits of an individual. Recognizing an individual on the basis of physical traits include identification based on his fingerprint, face, DNA, eyes, iris, palm, etc. While behavioral traits identify refers to voice or rhythm recognition. Based on this technology, different recognition systems have been designed depending on different traits. So fingerprint recognition, we know that the thumb, okay, this verifies them and matches the individual's fingerprint with the fingerprint database. So a fingerprint of every person is unique. It offers a very secure with the reliable attendance system. Again, the face recognition, it verifies and matches the digital image of an individual. This technology nowadays in our latest mobile phone, we can understand. In our latest mobile phone, we have the fingerprint option or even face recognition options. So this is all about using attendance mechanically. Now the time booking, we are talking about the time booking. So time booking means the recording of the time spent by a worker on different jobs during his attendance at the factory. Suppose he is entering in the factory premises, but he is spending his time on different jobs at the same time. So that needs to be recorded, and while time booking keeping records the attendance of each worker, time booking allocates the total work time of a worker to the various jobs performed by him. The objective of time booking are to ensure full utilization of work time. So if the uh, organization wants to know about the workers actual time spending on which job, which task he spend a lot many time, so that needs to be assessed. Then determining labor cost of each job to find out the each job cost for employees. Then computation of incentives. In many cases workers will get incentives, and that incentives are based upon the efficiency and the time spent on the workplace. Then the cost control, to control the cost. Time booking facilitate the determination of idle time, overtime, etc. in respect of each job. So management can take corrective actions to cut down the idle time so as to control overtime cost, so as to control cost. If the overtime was done at the instance of the customers to complete the job before time, the overtime cost can be recovered from the customer. So actual labor cost of a job, etc., can be compared with its budgeted or standard labor cost from time to time, so as to exercise timely control. So there are few methods of time booking. Method is daily timesheets, weekly timesheets, or job cards are provided to the workers. So as and when workers used to come for daily basis or weekly basis or as per the job requirements, that has to be recorded with their cards. Now we need to understand the timekeeping and time booking difference, because there is a difference in timekeeping and time booking. I'm stating here the meaning. Timekeeping is a system of recording the arrival and departure time of each worker. Timekeeping में क्या होता है, वर्कर कितने बजे आया और कितने बजे गया, तो आने का और जाने का टाइम रिकॉर्ड होता है. Whereas time booking is a system of recording the time spent by the each worker on various jobs, ऑर्डर्स और प्रोसेसेस. तो अगर वर्कर आके जो कुछ भी स्पेसिफिक काम करता है उसके ऊपर उसने कितना टाइम स्पेंड किया, दैट इज फाइंडिंग आउट थ्रू टाइम बुकिंग. नाउ द बेसिक ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ टाइम कीपिंग are to maintain attendance record as per the statutory requirements and to provide data for the preparation of payroll, कि वो बंदा एंटर किया है और एग्जिट किया है, उसने नंबर ऑफ डेज कितने भरे हैं, जब उसका प्रोविडेंट फंड या ग्रेजुटी या बाकी सब चीजों का लीव इनकैशमेंट का कैलकुलेशन का बात आएगा, देन इट विल हेल्प अस. एंड द टाइम बुकिंग, its basic objective is to ascertain the labor cost of a job or order or process. So in time booking we are focusing about labor cost very minutely, and there are two different method of timekeeping. One is manual method, other is mechanical method. Whereas manual method is subdivided under attendance register, or you can say muster. Another is token disk method. And mechanically, we can have the punch card method, biometric attendance. In case of time booking, there are 6 different methods like daily timesheet, weekly timesheet, job card, or you can say job ticket, then combined time and job card, labor cost card, or circulating job card, or piecework card. So these are differences between timekeeping and time booking. Now we need to understand the payroll, the concept of payroll. The hours workers spend by each employee as reflected on the completed clock cards are entered by an accounting department staff on the payroll sheet or payroll summary. Or employees authorized for the employment by the personnel department are first listed on the payroll sheet. Hours and hourly rates are then transferred from the clock card and total earnings are computed. After the gross earnings, okay, have been calculated for every employee's, deductions are entered on the payroll sheet and the net pay of each employee is determined. Payroll deductions are of two kinds, non-tax and tax. Non-tax deductions are made at the request of the employee or are required by union contracts. Among the more common examples are union dues, insurance, withholding of the purchase of saving bonds, and contribution to charities. Tax deductions are made in compliance with the Income Tax Act. So payroll preparation is very important. That is a statutory requirement. Now, as per the law, the common statutory requirement in respect of payrolls are laid down in Payment of Wages Act 1936. Thereafter, the Minimum Wages Act 1948 and the Payment of Bonus Act 1956. So these were the statutory requirement with the acts with their requirement. Now we need to understand the concept of overtime. So overtime means the work done by a worker beyond his normal working hours. According to the Factories Act 1948, every worker is required to work not more than 9 hours a day or 48 hours in a week. If due to the urgency of the work, a worker is required to work for more than 9 hours a day, excess time over 48 hours, that is overtime, is to be paid to the workers at a higher rate, generally at double the normal wage rate. The excess rate over normal wage rate is called overtime premium. So this is the formula for overtime premium. Overtime rate is equal to normal rate of wages plus extra rate of wages. Normal rate of wages plus extra rate of wages. We need to understand the accounting treatment towards the overtime. So normal wages are charged to the cost center or cost unit in a usual way. The extra wages or overtime premium is treated as explained below. Number one, specific job. If the overtime was for a specific job, at the instance of the customer, it is charged to the job. In turn, the amount of overtime would be recovered from the customer. When it is about specific job, when customer demand for specification, in that time that cost should be incurred and collected by the customer. Then normal, if the overtime is normal or due to the unavoidable causes, it is treated as works or a factory overhead, works cost, or we can say factory overhead. And in case of abnormal, if the overtime is abnormal, it is treated as an exceptional item and directly debited to the costing profit and loss account. In case of abnormal, we are treating is exceptional cases and debited to costing profit and loss account. In case of normal, we are treating as a works or factory overheads. In a specific job, we are charging it to the customers. As per according to cost accounting standard 7, overtime premium shall be assigned directly to the cost object or treated as overheads depend on the economic feasibility and the specific circumstances requiring such overtime. So there are few merits of overtime. Overtime helps the management in increasing the production by incurring a small extra cost, utilizing the plant and machinery more effectively, thus spreading the fixed cost over a larger output. This reduces the per unit cost of production and clearing the backlog of work. There are few limitations, demerits of overtime. However, overtime has the following demerits. Number one, overtime means additional cost of labor, lighting, repairs, or overworked machinery, etc. Overtime work means fatigue for the workers, leading to lower and substandard output. And overtime becomes a habit, and workers may work less during the normal working hours to secure overtime. So control of overtime. So overtime must be controlled to reduce the cost of labor and production. So cost of overtime involves the following steps. So record of overtime. First, it is necessary to record overtime on the job card or separately on overtime card. Identify and classify the causes. Causes giving rise to overtime should be identified. The causes can be classified into the following category. One is production causes like machine breakdown, power failure, more workers are compared with no number of machine, etc., leading to backlog of works. Administrative causes, that is poor planning, worker absenteeism, shortage of manpower, etc. Take action. Now the action should be taken after identifying causes are explained below. Production causes of overtime can be avoided by regular maintenance of machinery, setting up internal sources of power generation, proper planning of production in advance, purchase of new machines, etc., to avoid work getting in areas. Administrative causes of overtime can be controlled by controlling absenteeism, okay, by recruiting more workers, by adding more shift, etc. So we can understand this phenomena that overtime by various options. In next lectures, we'll understand from idle time.